is Tim with Death by Metal STL, and I'm talking to
Marc Rizzo.
Awesome. So, well, first off, let's talk about the new album. How did you come up to do the new album, and who's involved, and so forth?
Yeah, this is going to be my newest solo record, instrumental guitar stuff. It'll be my fourth record now, and this was produced from my good friend, one of my favorite producers, Zeus, and he did the production on it, engineering, and everything, and then my good friend Anthony DeVizio played drums on it, who's the drummer in the band 40 Below Summer.
Right.
He's played on my past solo record also.
Cool, definitely. And when is it being released? Is it already out, or is it you got a date?
It's going to be out March of this year.
Okay, definitely. And are you going to do any like touring with it, or is it just going to be a solo release and see how that goes?
Yeah, my plan is to tour for it. I mean, I've done quite a few U.S. tours now with my solo project. It's just a matter of fitting in, my schedule between SoulFly and Cavalera Conspiracy.
Right.
As soon as I have some downtime from those two bands, then absolutely, I plan on going out and doing some touring. Definitely.
And then, as far as like, you have been involved into a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of stuff. How do you find time to do all that and create a solo album?
Yeah, for me it's easy. I mean, I play guitar all day long. That's all I really do. It's
right.
all I'm really passionate about. So, I have a guitar in my hand all day, no matter where I am in the world, no matter, what project I'm working on. I'm always practicing. I'm always working on music. I'm always listening to music. So, I mean, there's no rest for me, man. As soon as I get some downtime, I want to get out there and keep playing.
Definitely. How's it been with the Cavalera Conspiracy?
It's been great. We had a great, new record that a lot of people have been liking a lot that just came out about a month or two ago, and
right.
The response has been excellent. And we just finished that Return to Roots tour. Basically almost the last 2 years we've been touring for that project where we play Sepultura's record, The Roots, in its entirety. So we finished that, and I think this new year here we'll probably get out there and start touring for the new Cavalera Conspiracy record.
Definitely. Did you, by any chance, have you watched that thing on Netflix, the Hired Guns movie?
I've heard about it, but I actually haven't watched it yet.
You know what? Looking at, and it's not looking at your career and looking at a lot of other people's career, because you've been on a lot of solo stuff, like you guest appearances on a lot of albums, and you're in so many different things. And the Hired Gun experience is just that movie is just incredible, because it just shows how many albums that are out there that people that played on it that just never was ever mentioned.
Yeah.
Does that with you? I mean, that's how can I say it? Looking at your career, it's kind of like that. I mean, you've been on a lot of guest appearances on different albums and different stuff. Do you like doing that? Do you prefer playing like that? And though you have Cavalera Conspiracy, but you've been involved into a lot of stuff. Does that do you like it? Yeah,
I like it all. I mean, I like being in a project like SoulFly, where I am more of a hired gun. Cavalera Conspiracy, I'm more of an equal member. I like it all. I know when I can, sit back and let the main person run with it and just kind of add my vibe to a song, or to the live show. But then I also love doing my own solo instrumental project where
Absolutely.
I'm calling all the shots and I'm writing all my own music. When you pick up any of my solo records, that's all my guitar playing on it. I play most of the bass on my records. I write all my own stuff. So I'm content with all the projects.
Did what influenced you, growing up? I mean, to play guitar and what in fact, and what got you into being into music? And I think you're a founding member of El Nino, aren't you?
I started that band from the pretty early beginning, with two other guys in that band.
Yeah. And then what was your major influence playing guitar growing up?
Probably, the early blues stuff, like Jimi Hendrix and Jimmy Page, and then I discovered Eddie Van Halen, and then getting into like Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, but definitely the blues rock players, Ricky Blackmore, a lot of the old 70s stuff. I started playing real young when I was about 8 years old. That was back in 1986.
Right.
So I grew up on a lot of the early thrash metal stuff, but also, a lot of the teachers I had were older guys for that time, so they really started me off with a lot of the 70s classic rock stuff, which I've always loved that stuff. I love bluesy, classic rock type music.
Definitely. Now you are on Combat Records, which Dave Elfson, that's his label now.
Yep.
How is that? How is it? Have you been on it long, or did you just get on it?
I just got on it. We just announced it. I know he just took it over, and I'm super stoked to be part of it. I've always was a big fan of Combat Records, and I'm a big fan of Dave Ellison. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time.
Right.
He played with us in SoulFly for a bit, and he's an amazing bass player, awesome dude, and I'm really super excited to be part of his label. Definitely.
What guitars do you choose to play? What are you endorsed by? Do what?
Yeah, I'm endorsed with Washburn Guitars. I'm endorsed with.
Awesome. Is it? Do you have any other endorsements you want to talk about, or?
Sure. I've been with PV amplifiers, GHS strings, and EMG pickups, and that's about it. I don't really use too many effects. Just basically straight through the head.
Definitely. I always ask this question to every musician, and I always get a different response. But back in the day when Metallica and Slayer and of course, Megadeth and all these bands formed, they've lasted. They're continuing to last. I mean, they're over 35 years. Some of them are over 35 years. And I know Hatebreed and Lamb of God and these guys, and of course SoulFly, they've been out forever. But do you think the new music coming out today, do you think they're going to have the longevity that these older bands has had? Because I think, is it because of the system's watered down with so many bands, or is it because of the industry? And do you think a band will last that long?
Yeah, I think if it's more difficult nowadays, obviously, but I think if a band finds its market and its fan base and works it, and is staying active with that fan base and playing shows and communicating with their fans, I think fans are going to stick by them. I mean, there's already a lot of legendary bands that have an incredible fan base that are still pretty much modern, So I think it's just a matter of finding your fan base.
It is, definitely. What was one of your very first metal albums that you ever bought? I mean, what were you mentioned some of the bands you grew up listening to, but what did you actually buy, and what was the first metal concert you ever went to?
Probably the first record was like Rain and Blood. I was a young kid. I was like 8 or 9, I think, when that record came out, and I just started playing guitar. But I had an older brother. He was about 7 years older than me, so he would come home with all those great thrash records, So I'm pretty sure it was Rain and Blood. That was the first thing I ever heard. And then my first metal show ever was actually Sacred Reich here in New Jersey.
Really?
Sacred Reich and Crowbar. They were on tour with each other back in like 1993. I think I was like 16 years old, and I had the chance to to see those guys. And I'm a huge Sacred Reich fan, huge Crowbar fan. And I've toured with both those bands. I'm good friends with all those guys, so it's pretty amazing, to have that be my first metal show and then now be friends with all these guys.
Oh my God! I mean, Sacred Reich is one of my favorite bands, absolutely favorite bands, and to see them back in that day, I know I saw Slayer back in the heyday with Hanneman. That was probably my highlight because Slayer is one of my favorite groups. But as far as like,
that's sick.
But as far as like making the album, how long does it take to make a solo record, and what goes into making a solo album? Do you have tons and tons and tons of music just laying around? Because do you record yourself playing and then be like, oh, I'll just save this and I'll take it for later? How does that work?
I'm real old school with recording. I'm not really interested in engineering or Pro Tools or any of that stuff. I'd rather have someone else do that. But I record my stuff even still to this day to like a handheld tape recorder, or sometimes just riffs to my phone. Everything starts with a riff for me. I'm really into riff writing and write catchy riffs, and then I build from there. Once I got the riffs together and I have a structure for the song, then I basically go into the studio with my drummer, and then we get his drums all set, the arrangement set, and then from there I just build. I do all the rhythm guitars, and then the bass, and then the solos. A lot of my leads are I'd say maybe 75% just improvised.
Right.
And then some of them I might work out, you know, like the choruses, the melodies. I'll spend some time to work them out. But I'm pretty quick in the studio. I'm into improv, and I'm into playing in the moment and being real spontaneous.
Awesome, definitely. When do you think you'll start going on tour for next year or for this year?
Well, I'm getting ready to leave to start a new SoulFly record next week, so I'll be in the studio again recording a new SoulFly record.
Right.
And then after that, I'm not sure what's going on, but I know we're doing a SoulFly tour in April.
Right.
So if I may do some solo touring maybe before I go out in April. We'll have to see. You know, this record is being released in March, and I know I really want to get out there and push this record and promote it. So maybe as soon as maybe February, if there's time to book something, promote it.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah, definitely. We'll promote it with our magazine in here in the Midwest and keep on pushing it. But here's the question I've always wanted to ask, and there's a lot of people that do solo stuff. I guess I don't know if it would fit or would it not fit, but why wouldn't a lot of bands, when you're playing a SoulFly, why wouldn't you have a solo, you could do the tour with your SoulFly band? I mean, that's...
Yeah, I'd like to. Let's maybe in the future that could happen. It's just a matter of, working all the details out to make that happen. But yeah, I think that's a great idea. I've had a lot of fans even ask me that, why my project hasn't opened up yet for a SoulFly tour. I get a lot of those emails and messages on Facebook from fans. So, we'll see. Maybe I can make that happen. I think it's a great idea, and I think the fans would definitely be into that. So we'll just have to see if we can.
That's the only reason I ask, because I listened to some tidbits, and you're just a very incredible, talented musician. I'm just really, really talented. But what kind of motivates you? What do you get into how do you get motivated to make an album? How do you get motivated to write some of the stuff that you do? Because, like I said before, you're very, very talented, and it's got to be hard. I mean, do you need quiet time, or what? How do you do it?
Honestly, I listen to a lot of stuff that inspires me, and that I guess that kind of subconsciously inspires me then to write my own stuff. I'm always listening to different players. I mean, I'm mostly inspired by guitar playing type music, instrumental guitar music, or riff heavy bands, thrash metal, whatever it is. So when it's time to write, man, it's just basically improvising in the moment. When I write riffs and I write songs, I don't feel like I struggle with it. I'm just kind of in the moment and writing. Off the cuff. For me, it just kind of comes naturally. It's fun to do. That's number one. It's fun.
What was the first guitar you ever bought or played with?
I think it was like a no-name brand. I can't remember the name of it. It was my first electric. But then from after that, maybe 2 years later, I moved up to like an Ibanez. So I would say Ibanez was my first real guitar.
And did you always want to play guitar? Did you want to play anything else?
No, I've always been a big guitar fanatic. I really am obsessed with the guitar. There's really no other instrument that I'm really as interested into. Like guitar. For me, it's just the ultimate instrument. I obsess over the thing, man.
How many guitars do you have?
I used to have a lot more, but I'm probably now I think like 25 or 30. I used to have a lot more, but
oh my God.
Yeah.
You're the first one. I thought the guys from Fit for an Autopsy had a lot, but that is a lot. I always ask musicians that. I'm like, hey, how many guitars do you have? And they're just like, maybe like 7 or 8. I need to get rid of 1 or 2. And God, to have so many. Does some of the guitars sit? Do you have like really valuable guitars? Do you have stuff that's like,
oh yeah,
like,
oh yeah. I got some stuff from like when I was a kid, and I got things that people have given to me that have very, sentimental, stories behind them. I mean, I have a lot of really interesting, cool guitars, and I play them all. I mean, I love all these guitars, and I really don't feel the need to have kids because I have so many great guitars,
Well, that is your kid. I mean, it is what it is. It's just, people are like, you want kids? No, I got 25 of them sitting at the house now. Yeah. It is. But what... Right? If you're not playing guitar, if you're not practicing or doing whatever, what do you do in your free time?
Probably just work out a lot. That's my other favorite passion. Is just sports and training, and I'm always working out every day. If I'm not playing guitar, then I'm in the gym. I'm at a park working out. a lot of times on the road, I just go to parks. I'm really into like calisthenic type workouts, you know, and
Right.
body weight type stuff. So I spend a lot of time training too when I'm not working on music.
Yeah, definitely. And what kind of sports do you like?
Mostly just like boxing. I love Muay Thai. MMA is cool. Jiu-Jitsu. I like all the combat sports, you know.
Right. Okay, definitely.
Watch.
I didn't know if you were a hockey fan or not, or.
Hockey's cool when they drop the gloves and they fight. That's cool. You know? I mean, it's not really a sport unless it ends in a fight. That's what I think. You know?
Right. Definitely. So, other than Combat Records, where can people pick up the album or go to get any of your albums?
I'm sure it's going to be stocked in stores, you know, whatever stores are open nowadays. I'm sure online, all the different sites, you know, I mean, you can go to combatrecords.com. I guess they have it, they're putting up one, or there is one up already.
Right.
Or the Facebook page has links, and, you know, I know all the digital stuff is up there for people to download. And then other than that, come to the shows, you know, come to, I know I'll be putting my CDs out on tour with SoulFly at the merch booth. You can pick them up there, or even on my solo tours at the best time, because I'm always hanging out at the merch booth. I'm hanging out at the bar after the show, hanging out with fans. You know, I'm always approachable. I'm always hanging out.
Right.
A lot of times I even sell CDs, you know, right to people, you know, from the merch table. So usually if you find me at the show, I got CDs with me, or the other places you can get them online, digital stuff, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Well, like I said before, you're a very, very talented musician. Hopefully you come to Missouri during the summer, either solo or through the other projects that you're in. And it's, you know, I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Thank you for doing the interview.
Thank you.
It's like I said before, it's really, you know, you're a really talented musician, and people need to pick up your new album, and we're going to push it as much as we can, definitly. But for 2018, I wish you nothing but best of luck. You're on an awesome record label, which is Combat Records, and if anyone wants to pick up any of your stuff or the album, they go to there.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
All right, take care, man. You have a great time.
You too, man. Happy New Year.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.